What's up, everybody? It's your boy Baybar to Go Bar, coming at you with another Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest video. Today we're going to be looking at a Koth deck that's using one of the cool elite cards, the Ball Lightning. So I apologize, I'm sure most of you guys can't run this, but I've been really searching for inspiration with M19. It came out, is it this week, I guess? And you know, I'm not a huge fan. I find the rares to be kind of, you know, filling in the gap, kind of nichey, some decent removal, some decent support removal, some okay stuff. There's really no decent converters in standard any longer, except for like Zakama of all things. And I don't know. I feel like the mythics are pretty weak on average too. There's a few pretty strong ones, but most of them are pretty weak or borderline unplayable, if not just fully unplayable. And then behind that wall where you have to spend a lot of resources and a lot of crystals, you can get to the elite packs and get guaranteed new cards, and the elites are awesome. So I feel like it's like I either have to blow a ton of resources to collect the mythics necessary to then collect the elite cards that I really want, or I just say screw this set. So anyway, let me show you a Koth deck that I'm running, and then I will, it's a Benji's. He used to be my buddy on Dedapult. Maybe I'll ask him if I can post this video, depending on how it goes. Maybe he'll just beat the snot out of me. I won't say this deck is very good, but it's definitely niche, and it's kind of fun. And then we'll see. Maybe I'll run another game, or maybe I'll open a premium pack and see if I can pop something exciting. Maybe I'll just walk through the different elites and mythics that I really like or don't like. So the first card is Ball Lightning. This is the elite card. When this creature enters the battlefield, it gets +X/+0, where X is equal to your red mana bonus. At the end of your turn, destroy this creature. So Koth's mana bonus is +9 in red. So that's a pretty big boost to him. And then you can increase it even further with stuff like Lotus Petal that we have in here. So this guy swings, if Lotus Petal down, he'll be swinging for, 32 per turn. So that's pretty huge. We pair him with Tilonalli's Skinshifter, who is on the board to mimic the first creature. So you hope that's Ball Lightning, or even better, a double stack of Ball Lightning, and then get Tilonalli's on there. So that's huge. You have Garna the Bloodflame. Is actually a really cool creature. This is from Dominaria. He has Flash, and when this creature enters the battlefield, return the first two creatures from your graveyard to your hand. So it helps get Ball Lightning back in our hand, or Tilonalli's Skinshifter if we need him. He does give other creatures haste, but all of our creatures have haste, so that's irrelevant. And Flash is an interesting mechanic. Not super useful in this context, but interesting nonetheless. We're running Archive to try and get our creatures into our hand quickly, because this deck doesn't have much defense. We're running Forebear's Blade, which is another mythic. This Snapcaster recommended this one. Just another way to get more aggro really out of your creatures, adding +5/+0 to them. Let's see here. So we have Gilded Lotus. It's nerfed, but it's still okay. Decent in Koth, because all of his negative mana bonuses are really detrimental early game if you can't get to your first. So Gilded Lotus is a nice card. And then we have a bunch of spells. Unfortunately, he can only take 3 supports, which is why there's only 3 supports here. The spells we're running are Demolish, just for some support destruction. Exquisite Firecraft can help control the board and also do direct damage to the opposing planeswalker. But thirdly, you can actually kill the Garna, so that Skinshifter can again start mimicking the Ball Lightning, which can be relevant. And then Magmatic Insight's a way we can draw some more cards as a spell. And then Alchemist Vial, and again, a little bit of control, but also just trying to sift through our deck and draw more cards. So let's give it a whirl against my buddy Benji's, and we'll see how this goes. Yeah, Benji's and I were, I'm pretty sure, we were definitely original Dedapult members together. So we stuck with that until basically the alliance started just kind of fracturing up. You have one job left to go do their own thing, and then the TP Power 9 went and did their own thing, and the alliance just didn't have the recruiting capacity and people dedicated to it as much. But we have great relationships with all these folks. So all right, so here we go. I guess we'll go ahead and play Tilonalli's Skinshifter down, and definitely want to go ahead and get our Archive down. Interested to see what a Benji's is playing today. He probably will beat me, because likely will beat me even with Greg piloting, because like I said, this deck can either get going in a hurry and be pretty brutal, or it can be very, very slow and not much fun. So let's take this combo. Lots of red on the board, so hopefully I can get some action here. I'd love to see Ball Lightning at this point. Let's go ahead and do this. That's a pretty match 5 here. I'm glad I saw that. I'd feel stupid if I didn't. Alright. Those are the ones you're always worried you're going to miss, you know? And you probably do. I have no idea how often I miss something like that. It's probably more frequent than I like to give it credit for. I guess let's go ahead and get the Skinshifter down. He's got pretty good aggro. I don't see any reason to cast that. Does Steve like Gilded Lotus? I have no idea, Steve. I suspect that you don't. I'm tempted to just disable my own Skinshifter, as stupid as that sounds, in order to draw more cards, because again, I'm not really trying to win this game by just like beating him down with a Skinshifter. But that's probably stupid. I think I'll just discard one of them. Probably just go ahead and try and get my Forebear's Blade down. This looks like a nice amount of mana. Let's go ahead and disable him in case we combo into it. Because Bolus will come up with the ability to kill my creature pretty quickly. Should I do it? I think I'm going to. Screw it. Why not? A third Skinshifter. And he's running a Tolly. That's not at all what I wanted. So he's going to kill my Skinshifter. I'll kill his Atali with that. Interesting to see what he pulled. I think it's smart to go ahead and use my first here. That didn't work out. Oh, yeah, it did. Okay. Yeah, let's do it again. Well, Ball Lightning is doing a really good job of hiding from me this game. Okay, interesting. Guess I'll throw another Skinshifter down. Again, hide this one. 4 shields on that. 2 on that. Don't really need this. I think I'll do Magmatic Insight to discard the archive. That didn't. Not what I was hoping for there. But it's alright. I do need a single match because I have Lotus Petal down. Gilded Lotus, sorry. I do always call that Lotus Petal, as my guildmates will attest to. This will fill my hand up. Not sure if I should have discarded something else. There's a Ball Lightning. Alright. Things are looking up here. Alright, so we definitely want the Ball Lightning. We want to hold on to him. Let's keep the Exquisite Firecraft too to take care of the Garna. Probably want to get another copy of that down. I've got 4 stack on my Forebear, so I'm going to discard that. Let's see if we can get into some mana here. I hope this doesn't screw me up. Okay. That looks not terribly exciting, but not bad either, I guess. I don't think I'm going to get enough for the Gilded Lotus, and I don't want to really take out those 2 red gems by doing the landfall, so I think I'm just going to take this red match upstairs, get my Ball Lightning down. So he's a 16-1 ball lightning now. And I think that I will just do this. I'll just create like 600 mana is all. So now you see Tilonalli going for 25 and the ball lightning going for 32 right there. So that basically took off half of Nicol Bolas, is one of the higher hit point guys in the entire game. Let's go ahead and pull the ball lightning back into my hand with this move. You know what, let's go ahead and ult. Screw it. Ugh. All right. So he's going to come out. I'm just going to leave him alone for now. And hopefully Bolas, Benji's won't do too much, and I'll go lethal next turn. So we want to get the Firecraft on the Garna. Oh, actually, I'm not going to have enough mana to do this. Damn it, stupid ult. Shit. That was a bad idea, I guess. What's a likely way to get... Damn, I'm not even close. Alright, so I need to get really just blatantly lucky here. How do we do that? I think I'll take that loyalty match. No reason to not let him copy. Yeah, it doesn't really matter much. We can just... Hey, look, he's running the card I said sucks. Oh, I didn't say that sucks yet. I got that one too. I think it sucks. I don't think extra turns for extra turns' sake are very good. That's why I'd rather like run like a man, ouch, Benji's. Ouch. I can't even go to the face, man. All right. Let's see. Let's do this. There you go. Have some of that. Pop enough. Oh, I was hoping that would cascade into a ball lightning for me. Let's go ahead and wrap it up right here. Whatever. So, anyway, there's the theme. Yeah, I don't know. That ball lightning's probably more of a niche card. But I'm fine with niche cards. I like the ones that are like, well, it's not like the most amazing thing. You probably wouldn't run it in a competitive event, but it's kind of cool, interesting design. So, anyway, that's that. That's my ball lightning deck. I'm gonna go through like why I'm disappointed in some of the cards, because I'll show you some of the masterpieces, and they are legitimately, in my opinion, some bombs. I think everyone's talking a lot about Plague Winds, but unless I'm reading the card wrong, the biggest bomb in the entire set is the blue spell that allows you to fill your hand up and give each card 10 mana. It's basically like you don't discard like BTB, which is good. Well, I don't think that's good. That's probably bad, but I think this is the best card in the set. Blue Sun Zenith. So for 16 mana, you draw X cards, which, let's say, assume you have full 16 mana, you stored all 10 mana. So you draw full hand, and then each of them gets 10 plus 2 mana. So 12 mana. Are you flipping kidding me? You draw 6 cards and give them all 12 mana for 16? That might be the best card that they've ever printed. I mean, it's up there, right? Like, as far as like its return on invested capital, unbelievable. Unbelievably good card. Like, what is it, like 72 mana for the cost of 16? Yes, please. So that card's awesome. Biden of Thassa seems pretty cool. Kind of like a Thrawn's Temporal Gateway. Maybe, I don't know, but kind of mixed between that and a Thopter Spy Network, but I think it's quite good. Let's see here. Courser's kind of not going to be good, I don't think. Lands are not a thing. No one likes lands. I know you're really trying. A Decree of Justice. This is pretty sweet. You can create like a 20/20 angel if my math is correct. Yeah, because half your stored mana. So for 16 mana, you basically get 5 4/4 little angels, which is pretty darn sweet. And I guess if you discard it, you get some soldiers, which I don't know, probably shouldn't do unless you're forced to. Eidolon is useless. I mean, I can't imagine why one would want to play that ever. Hell's Caretaker. This is a really sweet card. I think that would be a lot of fun. Lose a creature reinforcement, then return the first creature from your graveyard to the battlefield and reinforce it. That looks like exactly the type of card that I want to play with. So, Luminarch Ascension. I think I almost just said that Daddy wants to play. Shit. Yeah, you heard it here. Well, hey, I do have 2 kids, and I do refer to myself in the third person as Daddy. So, it's probably not right for the YouTube channel, you dumbass, Dave. Anyway, Luminarch Ascension. I don't know. This one seems pretty cool. I don't know like exactly how that would end up working, but I think it would be pretty fun to build a deck around that. Plague Wind's the one that's getting a lot of attention. Destroy each creature your opponent controls for 10. Wow. And it's a one-sided sweeper, and then they lose life, so there's pluses to that. That's a really strong card. Summoner's Pact, this seems like a really fun build-around card where you're kind of like, you know, get a bunch of copies of these going, and then, you know, at the same time, you know, maybe Lich's Mastery to prevent it from actually doing damage to you. That seems like a really, really sweet card to play with. And so all the elites, stuff for the most part, except for about 1 or 2 of them, are pretty awesome. And then you get into the mythics, and honestly, I think they're just not very good. This one's one of the ones that might be interesting. You know, he creates these 4/4 white avatars, so it's kind of like a recurring murder investigation thing, but with a bigger payoff, so that's probably pretty good. Although it doesn't block. Amulet of Safekeeping is horrible. Unplayable. Apex of Power is just a bad version of Days Undoing, and Days Undoing is still in Standard because it's in Origins. If it threw these into your graveyard, it'd be sweet. We need more cards that dump to the graveyard. This doesn't. It just throws it to the exile pile, which there's probably a few things that can, I don't know, mess around with the exile stack, but there's not many. Banefire is one of the cards that looked strong going in, and reports are it's pretty darn weak. I mean, if you think about it, it's basically 14 mana for a 10 cost burn, so certainly not amazing. Bone Dragon, from what I can understand, it doesn't have this recursion unless you have 8 cards in your graveyard. 8 cards in your graveyard's a lot, and frankly, if you have that many cards in your graveyard, there's usually better ways to be beating people down. Chaos Wand, I don't know what this card is. It's basically like Pyromancer's Goggles, but you grab the spells out of the opponent's hand. I don't know, that's super niche and might be kind of fun to play around with, but certainly, I don't know how you could build a deck with this theme. How do you know what your opponent's spells are? And for a few more mana, you could get your own spells. Doesn't that just seem better? Cleansing Nova, I mean, anytime you get a Destroy All Creatures, it's pretty strong, and this one can do supports as well, so that's a good card. Demanding Dragon, I don't know, it's like a 7/7. It's got some pretty cool effects. It comes in and can kill opposing creatures. So if you do, like, you know, use Teferi, Oath of Teferi, or like Siren's Ruse to bounce it in and out of the battlefield, you can have a kind of recurring kill spell, which is pretty sweet. Kind of like, I guess, kind of like Hostage Taker, except for he just kills them instead of going into your hand. So I don't know, but again, there's so many strong creatures that we don't need like a bunch of other, I don't know, 7/7 flyers. Yeah, he's okay. Djinn of Wishes, that's one of the few I have. Djinn of Wishes, or just Djinn of Wishes, I guess. When this creature enters the battlefield, create 3 Djinn Wish cards. This card's sweet, and I can't wait to get him, hopefully. This support can't be... Okay, so he comes in, he creates 3 of them, 3 wish tokens, 3 different gems turn into these tokens, and whenever one of them gets popped, you draw a card, and it gets filled with mana. So I can't wait to play with this if I ever get it. Druid of Horns is not good. I mean, I don't know. At 4/5 for 11 is okay. Beast token, 3/3 every time you cast an aura. There's just not that many good auras. I'm not sold. Fraying Omnipotence, I think this is horrible, but I'm not exactly sure what this means. Each player loses half their life up to 20. Does that mean they lose up to 20 life, or they lose half their life but can't go below 20? That matters, but other than that, it's not good. I'm not sure it's good even if it's, you know, down to 20 or more. I mean, I guess it could be like Lich's Mastery and then cast that. Your opponent loses half their life and you don't, but it's not good. Gigantosaurus is not the dinosaur you should be running. Zakama, Galta, Githath, Itali, all are far better than this, so boo. Hungering Hydra is one that I at first thought was pretty solid. I mean, don't get me wrong, an 8/8 for, you know, 18 mana with the stored is decent. It's not that easy to do damage to your creatures. Stuff like Vial can make it happen, but then he just gets an extra +5/+5, so he goes up to 13/13. He's just, I mean, it's not that he's just not that exciting. I don't know, he's okay, but there's a lot of good creatures, especially after Ixalan and Dominaria. So Izareth is one of the ones I'm kind of excited about for 18 mana. Every time she attacks, return the first creature card from basically from your graveyard to play, you know, up to 18 mana. So she can return some pretty big bombs. Stuff like Josu would be fun with this, but Josu, I'm not sure Josu needs this card to be good in that type of deck. Isolate, I'm certainly not sold. You can't be running tons of removal, and I mean, you usually can maybe 2 removal spells, and this will not be one that's run in any of my decks, unless I'm like mono white or something. Like, it's just not good enough. Magistrate's Scepter, a Benji's just played this on me. I also have this card, and you can see I haven't played it at all. And this support gains 1 shield on trap 3, so that sometimes happens, though it's not predictable. And then whenever you activate 3, this opponent loses 2 shields and you gain an extra swap. So maybe I should give it a chance, but here's the thing. Extra swaps for extra swap's sake are just not very good. This is why, like, Karn's Temporal Sundering is, like, not the removal of choice. I mean, well, that one has the historic requirement on board, but, you know, for, is it 11 mana? The bounce, there's much cheaper, more efficient bounce spells, and getting an extra turn, I mean, basically what that means is it takes you an extra turn to cast it, but then it gives you an extra turn. That's not an efficient way to run. You're much better doing one of the really cheap, you know, just kind of bounce the first card or bounce target card into the opponent's hand rather than getting these extra swaps through KTS. So I guess what I'm saying is just an extra swap or 2 is not like game changing enough to warrant inclusion in most decks. Millstone is way underpowered for what it's trying to do. A great classic card and not at all going to cause disruption, so that's terrible. Mistcaller is absolutely awful. I don't know why you would know you're running against a token creature deck. I assume it exiles the opponent's token, so I guess in some PvE fights it might be relevant. But if you're running a token deck, do you really want to just keep throwing them away and drawing card? I don't know why in the world you would ever use this card. Maybe if like the tokens get eaten by the leader and then you draw a card or something like that, but I doubt that's how it works. Patient Rebuilding is like I don't know, I thought I could mess around and break this one, but I basically played 3 games trying to do like a discard your opponent's hand deck into their graveyard, or a discard your opponent's deck into their graveyard, and then trying to tutor them back up with various things, and it didn't work worth a snot. So I think ultimately it's no better. It's just like a bad search for Azcanta right now, unfortunately. Transmogrifying Wand. I'm sure, I've heard it's fun to create Oxus, so I don't know. Maybe that'll be a fun card. It doesn't seem very good. And then the rares are like, I don't know, the rares are just kind of crappy, to be honest with you. I don't know, is what it is. I don't mean to be too critical. The reality is, like, I feel almost like there's like this giant paywall to get to the really good cards, which are the elites in this set. And beyond that, I feel like, you know, all the rares and mythics are just like not singing for like, woo, you know what, you should figure out how to turn me into a really clever, cool deck like Glorious Rebirth or Arcane Adaptation or many of the like fun cards that have come around. Instead, I'm just kind of like, oh, so this one has themes with goblins, or this one has a theme with more knights. I mean, it's boring. I don't know. I'll probably do dragons soon, but other than that, give me ideas, because I'm searching for inspiration, and appreciate you guys tuning in. Feel free to hit me up with any ideas or feedback. Thanks. Bye.